Hey friends, thank you everyone who's tuning in already. We are here to do some testing tonight. Hopefully you all saw the Brewmaster video and enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun testing Brewmaster so far. I've had a lot of fun with the 4 tanks that I've tested up to this point. The Druid video is going to be coming out next, but that will probably be tomorrow. But tonight we are moving on to the next tank on the list, and for now that is going to be the Protection Paladin as my titles giveaway. We're gonna change up the music here. I think I've tried this album a few times and it's just like not the vibe that I want. I know I like this one. Let's go with this one. A little more chill, a little more relaxed. And let's get on screen here. Hello. Hope you all are doing well tonight. We're here to play some War Within Beta. Gonna be doing some keys on the Protection Paladin. And I guess some things have changed with keys since last stream. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, there's some massive updates to the affix system. We're still going to be doing level 4s because of the way the gear scaling is. Those feel like they're in a place where like we can do the key if we have a group that's doing mechanics and we're doing a good job of tanking and everything ourselves, but they also provide a decent bit of challenge. So some of these keys also feel just like remarkably overtuned. So I think we're gonna probably stick mostly to Mists and Siege of Boralus, at least as we get started tonight. Prot Paladin's the tank that I have the least experience on, so this will be a little bit of a learning process for me as we go along, but hopefully you all enjoy watching me do that, and we can kind of learn together about how Prot is doing and what it's looking like going into War Within. So we'll go ahead and list our key, and we're just gonna dive right in here. This is the talent build that I'm kind of starting with. I guess one thing I need to do, I need to set up some macros. Like I need to have a mouse over macro for bop, probably for sack too. Right now I just have those on keybinds. Let's see. These guys, I'm not going to be too picky about who I'm inviting here. Apologize if there's some background noise. We've got some neighbors who are prematurely setting off some of their firecrackers that are sold in this area for 4th of July business. So if there's a little bit of popping in the background or sudden loud noises, I apologize in advance. Hopefully my mic's not picking up on too much of that. I'm going to go ahead and teleport to the dungeon and just real quickly make a couple of mouse over macros while we wait to fill here. So let's make this one for sack. Right there. Did I spell that correctly? I believe I did. I sure did. The real question is, am I going to remember to use these? Once again, Paladin is definitely the tank that I have the least playtime on over the last couple of expansions. But I know it's a tank that a lot of people are interested in. And, I want to give it a fair shot. We'll start with just those for now. Let's get a mage in here. Let's see. Hopefully someone is... Looks like nobody's a Tauren or a Night Elf, so we're probably going to have to run around the long way here. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, we can run Blessing of, or Devotion Aura. Make sure I actually have my tier set equipped. Paladin's got, I guess, a little bit more of an interesting tier set than most of the other tanks have right now. Brewmaster is definitely winning hands down on having the best tier set. Prots has some interaction with it. The 4 set has a lot of potential if you have if you're able to keep wings up for a while. It's during your next Avenging Wrath. Okay. Yeah, so that could have some interesting build up with it. Honestly though, I mean, you want to be using your holy power pretty regularly, so that's kind of just going to be passive in effect. But then getting big bursts during Avenging Wrath is pretty cool. So we shall see. Why, hello there. Our mage went to the wrong dungeon. We'll have to wait for him to get over here. Hope everyone out there is having a good weekend so far. Find yourself wherever you find yourself on this Saturday evening or Sunday morning, depending on where you are and what time it is. Hope it's been a good one. Alright, we've got everybody in here. We'll go ahead and do a ready check. I am going to start with the Templar hero talents. I think I've only done like one dungeon so far on Prot Paladin. Just enough to get a little bit of a taste. I did play a little bit of Prot Paladin in Season 3 of Dragonflight when I was trying to... when I started getting desperate to get the legendary on any character. So my DK didn't get it for way too long into the patch. Everyone's ready, so we'll give a countdown. One of these days I'll get some more useful add-ons installed on the beta here. No second horse charge? No, I'm just running one right now. Just running the one right now. I don't think we actually have anyone who can open up the gate here, so we're probably gonna have to go around. Yeah, we're gonna have to go around. A little bit of a bummer. Oh dear. We're getting trucked already. Okay. That felt very squishy compared to my experience on other tanks so far. Okay. I mean, I could have bubble taunted, but like on the first pull, heard Prot Paladin still needs number changes tuning wise. Yeah, it's it definitely felt rough the first time I tested it, and feels like the toolkit isn't quite there yet. Like I just hit a Word of Glory and like my health bar barely moved. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but I want to give it a test. I want to give it a fair shake. Make sure we're using our hero talent tree, our talent ability here. Okay, okay. I think most of the tanks in general need more healer attention than in Dragonflight, and I don't know if healers on the beta are just Not used to that. I know healing on the beta also just seems like it's generally kind of undertuned right now. Word of Glories aren't doing anything, and unfortunately it's part of Paladin's mitigation. Yeah. It's supposed to be like... I mean, Paladin's supposed to have like the second most healing, obviously behind Death Knight. And like it's just not there. Which makes it feel pretty tough. Healer also has this one to do on you. I have seen one healer in all the mist dungeons that I've run dispel that proactively. Oh, well, we also don't have a way to get past this pack, so this ought to be fun. Stand in the link. You know, I'm just gonna bubble taunt. Probably just gonna have to use that pretty proactively tonight. Yeah, most healers that I've seen have not been dispelling, especially when you get to 2 stacks of that, what is it, like Soul Cleave? Whatever it's called. I had one healer who dispelled it immediately, and that just made it that dungeon felt so good. Okay, that Word of Glory felt kind of big. I don't know, maybe if it crits it feels okay. But yeah, like that one, like I didn't even notice. And you're giving up Shield of the Righteous uptime in order to use it, so... Oh, look, we've got someone offline already. that might be a rough sign. It might be the free Word of Glories that you build up to that feel stronger. I think those do more healing, right? Yeah, we're dead. Woof. Now, I do want to say, I am by no means an expert Prot Paladin. This is, you know, like I've said, the tank class that I have the least experience on. It's certainly the one that I feel the least confident on. So I don't want to give it too much of a bad rap. Consecration Reliance is very unintuitive to me. I mean, that's definitely a thing. I do feel like, oh, and we just gave the mobs... Oh no, okay, I guess that we actually got the thing taken care of there. Oh boy. Oh man. I mean, getting meleeed for that much damage. Yeah, it's tough, right? Because you need to use Word of Glory to heal yourself. But if it doesn't do anything, you feel like you need to use it again, and then you lose Shield of the Righteous uptime, and then you just fall over. But yeah, I'm certainly not the expert on Prot Paladin. Looks like we got the mobs killed, so that's good. Most tanks run into a pack, but Prot Paladin, once mobs are in them, so they have Consecration up for the melees. Yeah, it feels bad that you have to drop it at your feet too, right? Like, I've played a ton of Blend Decay, and it's got the same thing with Death and Decay, but Death and Decay, like, you just drop it wherever you want, and then you're good to go. Hey, what's up, Adrian? Yeah, Prot Paladin tonight. It's feeling very squishy. I'm trying my best to keep Shield of the Righteous up, and it's still feeling pretty squishy so far. How's Word of Glory? Any better soon? No, it still feels very weak. Still feels very weak. The group damage is pretty good here, though. I guess it is fortified. Or, yeah, it's fortified tonight, so. If you could place concentration, it might help. It would just feel nicer, right? Because, like, with Death Knight, you place your Death and Decay proactively where you intend to tank. and then it's not like taking up your initial like it's not using one of your first globals. Don't stand in the frontal as I walk through it. Some kind of aura effect would be more ideal. There was a talent at one point, or maybe it was a glyph that made it like follow you around. I don't know, that might be too OP because it does do a lot of damage. The first one's right here. Prot Paladin on pull is just so busy in M+. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I feel like I got a little bit of a taste of that playing Vengeance Demon Hunter this season on live. Like, it feels like you got to do some work to get initial aggro on Vengeance. Or at least you got to spend some globals working on that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because a lot of times when I'm playing Demon Hunter, I'm trying to round up like 3 or 4 packs. And my friends who play DPS just want to go ham immediately. Let's see. Alright, cool. Healer's got this on lockdown. Trying to build holy power for, trying to build holy power for mitigation. And also get aggro and also not die. Often you just need Ardent or something. Yeah, and Ardent does have a pretty short cooldown. I should probably be using that more aggressively than I have been. VDH definitely have to be methodical with aggro. Yeah, like once you get stuff rounded up, it's easy to establish aggro, but like that process where you're like, alright, I'm going to throw glaive on this pack and on the other pack there, and then I'm going to drop a sigil on another one that's going to take a second to go off. Like, if you have a mage just immediately going ham, it can be bad news. I don't know which one this is. I'm glad someone else is doing the maze. If you don't have the Kyrian sigil, you don't have a lot of snap threat without souls. That's true. Although, like, I would always play that. I will say it's gonna hurt not having double charges of that sigil, but it was kind of catching strays with the nerf to sigils in general. I think I need to be taking blinding light for this affix. I mean off CD. Oh yeah. If no more double Kyrian is gonna hurt. Yeah. I think like targeting Sigil of Misery and Sigil of Silence with that nerf was completely justified. Definitely the right decision, but losing double Sigil of Chains hurts a lot. Losing double Sigil of or whatever it's called, the Kyrian one. That hurts a lot too. Otherwise, we probably just play double Flame Brand. Yeah. Oh, this guy got cleaved. I like VDH, but 7 AoE CCs is too much. Yeah. Yeah. When you say 7 AoE CCs and you're not using hyperbole, that's how many it actually has. And they're all different kinds, so it's not like they overlap with each other or anything. Alright, so you can outrange the frog's tongue hit. I feel like that, yeah. I feel like I remember doing that on my monk in Shadowlands. Definitely don't want to be standing in front of it if you're not a tank, though. Oof. Use Guardian, hope it wasn't too late. You know, I guess the other thing to consider here is the trash at the beginning of this dungeon is hard. Oh, that's brutal. We don't have the graveyard update either. Like, the trash at the beginning of this dungeon is very, very challenging compared to the trash later in the dungeon. And having to do this extra pull here was not doing us any favors. 4 AoE CDs is still more than any other tank. Yeah, I mean, you look at, like, Guardian Druid and you've got Demo Roar, like, and that's it. And you have to give up the only stun in your tree to take that. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough. I think, like, DK is on a very even level with VDH now as far as controlling packs. Checkpoints make you think, is it the right decision needing a Night Elf or Tauren for miss? So I think that might be a little too restrictive, but you can also have a Druid of any race or just have Herbalism. So they should probably expand it a little bit more than that, or just honestly, like, just have it update. Like, why do we need to go through all this, like, all these shenanigans that we left behind in Shadowlands? I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, one of the issues... Oh, I'm gonna die. Okay. One of the issues is that you can't actually level Herbalism on the beta server where you're doing keys. Because if you go out into the open world, it just like immediately ports you back to a major city. So, yeah, you can't actually test if Herbalism even works or not. I could have just made this guy Tauren, I guess. But I wanted another earthen character. Even though I don't think I've used the active ability at all. I was testing it a lot on my monk, and I did not see a single dodge or parry while I was using it, so using a cast time ability on a paladin just feels like, if it doesn't let you block or dodge or parry, it feels like a recipe for your immediate death. Wait, what? Did someone go through the wrong maze? Okay. That was strange. Maybe I'm in the mist to for you guys. That would be big brain. Let's see. What's that one? Empty leaf. Wait, what? Oh, okay, there's a door right there. Oh dear. I feel like Paladin might feel a lot better with an Aug Evoker too. I mean, we've got a Devastation Evoker in here, but... Alright, we're on the boss. It's gotta do more. I mean, just having like the extra armor and everything just feels really good. Almost forgot to interrupt that. Oh, I just had a shield go out. That's fun. It's the flower. Oh. Did I let a patty cake go off? I did not notice. I try to do too much on this boss, and I often end up like not noticing that patty cake is being cast. Oh, the fog. Okay. Happen again, and I don't have a bubble to get out of it. Oh, this is bad. Ow. I should just keep the boss far away from that fox. Don't go there where you can't see. Alright, boss dead. Patty cake probably would kill you. I know it one-shot me in my druid, and I think on my warrior it did not one-shot me. So it does borderline one-shot damage, but Pally feels a lot weaker than warrior. Warrior feels so good, and Paladin is... I mean, granted, I'm a lot more experienced on warrior, but Paladin is not feeling as good. I also want to be careful, like, tuning is certainly not final yet. So I don't want to give the wrong impression that, like, Paladin's going to be bad when things go live, because, you know, they could, like, quadruple Word of Glory healing, and then it might feel great. Paladin's the only sus tank on beta right now, Imo. Yeah, I mean, I haven't tested Demon Hunter since the Sigil nerf, but it felt great before the Sigil nerf, so... It didn't feel as good as it does on live because, you know, you don't have like 30% haste and 40% crit and as much versatility as you want. Just because of stat scaling. Oh. Maybe I wait for a B-res here. Yeah, had my toes in that acid. Loki VDH is probably still going to be top dog. I think it depends on the tuning. Oh, nice. Someone opened that. Maybe it opens after you kill the boss, regardless. Yeah. I think the toolkit that it has is still very, very strong. I do think DK is going to be a lot closer, unless it is getting one shot before Demon Hunter does, which is often the case. But having 90-second Gorfine's Grasp that also silences for 3 seconds is at least on par, in my opinion, with Sigil of Silence. And then having solo grips, having Blinding Sleet. Probably what Blizz will do. 3 seasons of VDH dominance would be a bit much. Yeah, it would be. I would expect either buffs to other tanks to bring them a little bit ahead, or a little bit more nerf to VDH. Its toolkit is still too good for M+. Yeah, I mean, when it's in a position where it's a strong tank, it has been the meta pretty often in the past, just because of that toolkit. Like, AoE sigils are so good. I should probably stand in the sigil here. One complaint I have about these orbs is that they make it hard to see a lot of other mob, like cast bars and stuff. Feels like there's way too much going on screen when Solitath is dropping all of those. Sapphics kind of goes against the nameplate clutter point. Yeah, I think it feels to me like they're just kind of experimenting right now. Like, they've obviously had a big philosophy shift in how they're designing affixes that felt pretty sudden. They're trying a bunch of different... Oh my gosh. They're trying a bunch of different things. But I wouldn't be mad if this one goes away, or at least sees a somewhat different implementation. Healer's got no mana. Assuming he will want mana before the boss. You know, we had all those deaths. I felt pretty squishy, but as long as we don't really mess up this boss, knock on wood, we're still gonna time this key, so it's not all bad. Go ahead and break the link. I think they should spawn less in one wave, but I'm happy to experiment and see the whole FX concept goes. Yeah, me too. And the other thing is, like, the way that these affixes get overridden at 12, like, they're just gonna not be a thing before they would be at the point where they're, like, scaling out of control, right? Like, I know there's gonna be, like, just raw number scaling once you lose these affixes, but at least you're not giving a like a plus 15 tyrannical boss 200% haste if you can't deal with the orbs, because that would be insane. Yeah, I would love to see fewer of those spawning in each wave, though. Or, like, make them, I don't know, change the way you interact with them, right? So, like, make you run through them instead of having to CC them. Because sometimes they're going to spawn in places where, like, you don't want to use your AoE CC, or you already have used your AoE CC, and that would feel really bad. But also just like saying, okay, well, this affix is coming in 10 seconds, so now I can't stun this ability that I did stun. Like, that's no fun. Watched a clip of Equinox walking into orb-hasted mobs after he died. Poof. Deathglats for 11 and below. Yeah, and I think a lot of that, like, the scaling in keys right now at eye level 587 is way lower than we're going to be once we start doing any sort of pushing in keys. So I'm definitely willing to see where it goes and how it goes. Okay, let's hearth, and then let's do a little bit of evaluation before we dive into another key. Overall damage. Lots of Avenger Shield, that's expected. I need to use Eye of Tyr a lot more often. That's like what this Hero True Talent is built around, at least for Prot. And I was not really thinking about using it. It's also just a good defensive ability. So, probably try to use that on pull every time. Empyrean Hammers, even though I wasn't doing a good job of using Eye of Tyr, like, these did a lot of damage. So, we can see both of those go up a lot in the next key. The scaling is still that low? Yeah. They have not changed it at all. It was 587 when, like, the first weekend of Mythic Plus testing, and that's what it's still set to. I'm hoping they either just increase it across the board, or increase it specifically, like, make it dungeon level specific, right? So, like, say you're going to do a 4, well, we're going to give you the item level of gear that drops into 2, or something like that, so that it feels a little bit more manageable. Because it makes it hard to say, like, you know, is Prot Paladin bad, or does it just need a little bit more gear before it feels good? Is this dungeon boss overtuned, or are our health pools just 2 million hit points lower than they're going to be when we're doing this level of keys on live? So I think it makes it hard to give good feedback. But I don't know. I'm not like a super high key pusher on live. I get my portals every season, but I don't really usually find motivation to go much beyond that. Let's see. How did my healing overall look? Very low. Yeah, average Word of Glory healed for 1.29 million. And I think my health pool and keys is like over 5 million. So it's not even 20% of, or maybe about 20% of overall health. But this is including like crits. The average non-crit was under 1 million. So this definitely needs some tuning. But again, that could just be a gear scaling thing. I don't know though, because your health is going to scale up faster than your Word of Glory healing is going to, probably. Okay, maybe... Are there any other talents that we want to try? I definitely want to pick up Blinding Light instead of Repentance. I think AoE CC is just going to be way more valuable for that affix. And this should be up like maybe every other time they spawn. Any talents to extend Shield of the Righteous buff up time? Let me see if there's anything I'm missing that does that. I mean, there is Bastion of Light, which would just give you more holy power to work with. I feel like I need Bubble Taunt. It seemed to drop off a bit. Yeah, I was probably spending too much on Word of Glory and not enough on Shield of the Righteous. I should probably... So this is like a pure DPS looking talent. I should probably go for... Like, that is a lot of value, especially on Fortified. Right? Because Avenger Shield is 5 targets, so that's just 25% parry. That's going to help a ton. Probably put a point in there. Get more uptime for Ardent Defender and Divine Shield. Probably just drop this too. I mean, that's giving up a lot of damage, but like these two have really, really good defensive value. And this felt like it was missing. I'll take a look at the hero talents too and see if there's anything in here we could swap to. Hammer of Light instantly calls in 2 Empyrean Hammers target when it's cast. Divine Toll grants up to 100% increased damage against their judgments. So that's just damage. This one is actually really nice. Divine Seed lasts 2 seconds charger longer and gives you more movement speed for the first 3 seconds. I think we'll just stick with those for now. Keep that as a nice baseline. And then I will try to be more aggressive about using Eye of Tyr. Like, it's got a 45-second cooldown. We can use that on basically every pack. So we'll try and do a better job of that. Let's swap over to Siege of Boralus. And we will keep this at a 4. The key system on the beta is so funny. Like, you have your beta keys, which you can just kind of change as you want to. But then you also get, like, you loot keys, but they're, like, we completed a 4 on time and I looted a 3. And it's also got the old affix system, because it's a 3 with Fortified, when that's supposed to kick in at level 4. It's kind of funny. Alright, we'll see if we get anyone signing up here. I know Siege is not the most exciting dungeon for a lot of us, and a lot of us are maybe questioning why it was one of the dungeons that was brought back, but I do think a lot of the changes that they made and the tuning that they've done make it a lot better than it was in BFA. Especially the changes that they made to the last boss over the last 2 weeks are just like, This is what we've been asking for since Battle for Azeroth Season 1. Messages being moderator checked for racism. Note to self, don't abbreviate word of glory. Oh, interesting. I will for sure let that one through because I know you're trying to say word of glory. Yeah, YouTube does not care about that. Twitch is being a little aggressive there. Maybe only use free words of glory. Yeah, this bug is still here. If you have another window open and you hit the hotkey to open your talents, it opens your spellbook instead. It irritates me every time. I reported it like 5 times, so I'm hoping they just fix it. Let's see. I'm trying to remember which talent it is that gives you free words of glory. Here it is. Each 3 Shields of the Righteous makes your next word of glory, costs no holy power, maximum 2 stacks. So you can stack it up to twice and save it. It doesn't increase the healing that word of glory does. That might be a way that they could sneak a little bit of extra power into that without affecting holy or ret directly. I mean, this, I don't know, getting healing over 15 seconds, the way that things are tuned right now, feels not super impactful. You do get 30% block chance for 5 seconds when you use Word of Glory, so that's nice. And then, like, I'm taking... I mean, I guess you have some spell block baseline, so... This would be nice if we were using Word of Glory on the party, but I don't feel like I have enough holy power to do that. I guess the combination of these two could be nice, but... I don't know. It feels like the talent tree is a little bit rigid. Like, there's a lot of really good talents. I don't think it's in as frustrating of state as the Guardian talent tree. But... Ooh. Isn't this the same evoker we just had, but he's Og now? Nice. Yeah, we'll take him. Or her. I don't know. Go ahead and port over to Siege. I will say, one positive thing that I have to say about Siege of Boralus is I miss Boralus. It was such a good city. I played a lot of Alliance in BFA, and it's one of the best capitals that they've ever made, in my opinion. This guy would seem to know this dungeon. This tier set looks kind of funky. The wings that kind of move as you run around. It is a little harder to find people willing to do this dungeon, but I don't want to just run Mist all the time. I think once I picked a main, I'm going to spend more time doing like some of the other dungeons and getting to know them a little bit better. But I feel like I kind of want to stick to the same few that don't feel super overtuned right now, so that I can get more of a good baseline comparison between where the tanks are right now. Does it have... Oh, it doesn't have a current season tab right now. Interesting. Yeah, I have tried to run... I have successfully run Arakara a few times, but some of the damage in here is just wildly out of control. Like, I was doing it last night, and the dot that the last boss puts out, like the poisons, were ticking for like over 1 million damage on the entire party. So how is the healer supposed to deal with that? Like, that's just wild damage, and this is like Mythic 0 level damage. The first boss does a lot of damage in that one too. The second boss feels pretty reasonably tuned, but like the first and third boss in this place they're cool bosses, and the mechanics are interesting, but either they need to let us get more item level in our testing, or they need to take a tuning pass at that. Dawnbreaker, I've only gotten like through the first boss on this, and then we had someone disconnect. But this is a pretty cool dungeon. The one frustrating thing is like it's really hard to do chain pulls because you have to do dragon riding or sky riding, I guess we're calling it now, between a lot of the early pulls. And then City of Threads, I've been avoiding this one because of the RP event in the middle of it. Like, that just feels like an absolute mess. I do want to give it a try before these dungeons go live, but not looking to do that just yet. Did they fix healing on Paladin? No, they have not. Word of Glory still feels like a very small band-aid when you need a tourniquet. Like, so okay, we're in it. Like, I have 5.6 million health with the current gear scaling in here, and it did an average of 959k non-crit. Maybe that's just what they intend. It's possible, but if that's what they intend, then they need to really buff some of Paladin's other baseline defense. Like, I'm fine with being a little bit more reliant on your healer if your healer is given the tools to, like, effectively keep the tank up. But they got to make Paladin a little more beefy compared to the other 4 tanks that I have 10% base. Yeah, like somewhere between 10 and 20% non-crit. So like the big crits I had did feel effective, but they felt like what a normal Word of Glory feels like on live right now. Paladin feels like one of the tanks that struggles mightily early on in gear progression. Yeah, it needs a lot of haste, and then like every stat gives it so much value, right? Because you get parry from crit, you get more block from mastery, right? Or is mastery like it's the funky like consecration stuff now? I think you also get block from it, right? Yeah, you get block, you get reduced damage in your consecration. Every tank skill is good with verse. And then Pally skill is really good with haste too, because you can churn through Holy Power, and basically like it makes it easier to get full shield uptime and then have enough to spend on Word of Glory. And you get the block spells too, yep. Yeah. I will say you definitely... You feel the gear scaling a lot more on some tanks than others. Like Warrior just feels like it just doesn't take very much damage at all. Because you get your block from just having shield block uptime, and you get full uptime on that basically for free. Magic damage still hurts, but a little bit less than... Like you have a talent that just reduces your magic damage taken while you're in defensive stance by 5%. That helps a little bit. Plus just the base 20% damage reduction in defensive stance feels really good. So I feel like Warrior, like, it just doesn't need the gear scaling to feel good. And DK, like, because your self-healing is based on how much damage you're taking, like, as long as you're not getting one shot, as if you know how to manage your runic power, it doesn't need gear as much as other tanks too. I think Demon Hunter and Paladin are probably the two that feel it the most. Man, there's just like no one queuing up for this dungeon. It keeps going back to Miss 3. Ooh, we got some loot. We'll get this Paladin in here. Wait, he's also a Prot Paladin? Oh, that must have been a bug. Maybe it's not a bug and they're just intending Prot to be a DPS spec now. Here we go. I was playing with this guy the other day, he's pretty good. Okay, looks like our Ret Paladin left, but we've got a healer now, so hopefully we get another DPS pretty soon. I do eventually want to test out the other hero talent tree. But I want to get better at using Templar before I swap over to Lightsmith. Okay, we don't need a second Auguboker. I will invite almost anyone else, but we don't need a second Auguboker right now. There we go. Get a DK in here. What trinkets do you like so far? It seems like there were quite a few really good ones. I have been using... Let's see, I haven't really been paying too much attention to which trinkets I'm using. I'm trying to use just like kind of stat sticks or like simple ones so that I can get more of a fair comparison between the tanks. More of a fair idea of like what is each tank actually doing with its base toolkit. Although I'm using this ring right now, which does quite a bit of damage. So I'll take a deeper look at that in the coming weeks for sure. I'm also kind of like assuming there's going to be tuning on the trinkets, so I don't want to get too invested in the idea of how one plays. Oops. That you didn't see that. Guys, that didn't just happen. That didn't just happen. I was I'm not doing an assault right now. No, go away. I was kind of touching on this earlier, but I didn't actually get to talking about it. The changes they made to the last boss in this place make it feel so much better. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read the patch notes, but basically, we're going to go to the BFA 1. They made it so that he no longer summons additional demolishing terrors. You kill the first one, and then you kill the gripping terror, and then you do the cannon. Also, the slam that the demolishing terror does no longer does knockback. They added knockback on it the first weekend of M+ testing, and it was so annoying. But then they took that out, they reduced the damage of the slam quite a bit, and they made it so that you're not just killing demolishing terrors the whole time. And that was like one of my biggest complaints about this dungeon. So, yeah, I think Siege of Boralus is actually in a pretty good spot right now. I do wish that they had given us the Horde version instead of the Alliance version. Just because the trash pulls up at the start can be a little bit sketchy in the Alliance version. So I don't know if the meta will be to like... So for Alliance, we would just like jump and then like jump across. But that gets kind of sketchy. Okay, so let's do that. See, like, there's knockback that can knock you into additional pulls, which is always interesting. You can also get knocked off if you're not careful and into the shark waters. Never seen this. Yeah, you only played Horde in BFA, right? Horde, you start down below. Alliance, you have to go through like the open market area at the start here. Some of the pulls are a little bit sketchy just because it's easy to pull like extra stuff in. Is it gonna mess with me? Yeah. I guess on the one hand, they had to pick one or the other, and the Alliance one is like, it's fine. Oh, I can do the affix. I can do the affix now. I think the mechanics on the first boss might be slightly different too. Like, I think one of his abilities, you did something different for Horde. But I don't know if I ever actually ran this place as Horde in BFA. So I was like pretty hard on Alliance. That was really awkward phrasing, I'm sorry. I was kind of all in on Alliance. I had one hard character, but I didn't really do keys or anything on it. See, once you get to this part right here, it gets pretty much the same. Oh boy. Let's just bubble taunt. Let's just bubble taunt. Oh, nice. These guys got 20 stacks of the affix. So this new affix, if you do it correctly, you get 1% haste per stack. So you can get 20% haste from it. The mobs, if you let it go on them, get 10% haste per stack. So they end up with 25%, or with 200% haste. Which is as excessive as it sounds. But yeah, I think what we did most of the time as Alliance in this place was like just do a jump downstairs so that we would have the Horde version because it felt a little bit easier and more consistent. Dad joke. We are gonna get a dad joke. I apologize, chat. Let me make sure I'm not gonna die doing this, because that would certainly be counterproductive. See, like 20% haste feels pretty good, and 20% movement speed. Giving the mobs 200% haste, not so good. Alright. Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one. That was my wife who redeemed that, and I think she really liked that one. For those on YouTube, that's one of my Twitch channel point redemptions. I think, yeah, that's what they're called. I have this like stack of dad joke cards that I got for Christmas, and I will read one of them. And if it happens to be raid night, I will read it to the raid. Franken, you've been subjected to that a few times. Although you appreciate a good dad joke, so. But the rest of the raid has been subjected to it a few times. Yeah, this group, I feel like this group always gets pulled. I should just add it into my normal pathing. Ugh. Getting extra adds that you weren't planning for on a fortified key is always an interesting thing. Okay, but we killed this stuff, so pulling back. We'll pull these guys back here as much as we can. I'm starting to feel a little more comfortable with Holy Paladin, or with Prot Paladin, as I play it a little more. Man, having one big AoE CC feels really good on the Sapphics. Just taking out like almost all of those orbs for free. Let's pull these guys back. This boss just really likes to join combat with the group if you give him a chance to, so I try to do my part to prevent that from happening. I will say aggro feels pretty good in general, even though I switched to a little bit more of a defensive build. Here, I'm gonna use Word of Glory right now. Like, it just feels so weak. It just feels so weak. Okay, we gave the mobs, oh, you know, just a cool 40% haste because we missed 4 of those orbs. I think the meat hook that this guy does is different from the Horde version, but I may be wrong about that. We need a Druid stream. I will give you a Guardian Druid stream either tomorrow or Monday. I have already filmed everything I need for the Guardian Druid video, but I would like to do a little bit more testing. You know, I don't want to give too much away. We're just gonna bubble that. Because I am gonna hopefully get that video posted tomorrow afternoon. But I really like the Lunar Bear. Like the Chosen of a Loon. There's some things about it that I think could feel better, mostly just related to the state of the talent tree and just the mess that it continues to be. I just want one more point in the bear tree toward the bottom. Yeah, honestly, look, that would make it feel so much better. I'm going to talk about that in the video. Like, that tree feels so bloated compared to some of the other tank trees. Druid of the Claw is interesting. I think it's got some high potential, but I also think it has some downsides that make it a little bit hard to get good advantage of in, especially, oh wow, I just flopped there. Well, okay. I guess the release is, okay, not too far back. Just starting new methods on my Guardian Druid, just to give it a go, and I'm having so much fun. It feels really good in Dragonflight right now. Like, I was playing it the other day on stream in Dragonflight, and had a lot more fun than I was expecting to with it. Potential War Within main, fighting Prot Warrior and DK at the moment. Yeah, Prot Warrior and DK are definitely my 2 leaders based on what I've done so far. That's not to say that I will like 100% main one of those 2, but if I was choosing today, it would probably be one of those 2. Druid of the Claw feels more raid centric. That is definitely true. cover. And here we see the people who didn't play in BFA, or don't remember this dungeon. It definitely feels more raid-centric. I think there are some cool things that you can do in keys, but like the cat form stuff is not necessarily the problem I have with it. But I'll give more I give more details on that in the video, but like kind of the big picture gist of it is like it's built around a proc. It's like the main like improved maul thing that you get is a proc based on your auto attacks. And the fact that it's a proc when the other one is built around an active ability that you can choose when to use and that you get really high uptime on, like it just feels a little bit bad. Oh, don't be in the water. No, 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 get out of the water. I don't know if I actually need to pull this one. DK Warrior Druid Award, I think I may end up having to main the DH on, or may end up having the DH on deck though. Yeah, I feel like our raid team kind of perpetually needs a DH. I have enjoyed it this tier, but I don't know. The Sigils nerf definitely hurts. Seeing as I know one ever wants to play DH. Yeah, which feels wild. Like, for all the melee that we have, having no one that really wants to play Havoc Demon Hunter feels weird. I need to convince one of our, like, 18,000 rep paladins to play DH. It's definitely not for everyone, but I feel like it's consistently one of the most enjoyable melee specs. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Between early access and taking the first week off, I'm gonna try and get all 6 leveled. Havoc's a little too zoomy for you. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it definitely has that feeling. Oh boy. Hey, what's up, Christopher? Sigils nerf might feel like a nerf, but that's really way too much CC. I actually think they're getting a huge buff to the meta damage with new hero talents. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Like, Vengeance Demon Hunter on live has 7 AoE CCs, which is just like it's 6 more than most of the other tanks have available. Like, that had to get nerfed. That absolutely had to get nerfed. And it is a nerf, but going from 7 to 4 is still like, it's still a strength of the Vengeance Demon Hunter toolkit. Like, make no mistakes about it. So like it is still very strong on the AoE CC department. One thing I noticed, I ran this place on my monk, I think it was last night, and it felt like the bananas that these Hosen throw around, it felt like there was about 5 times as many as usual, and like every step I took I was running into a freaking banana and getting stunned. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll get stunned a lot and you guys can be amused by that. Like, I don't remember there being this many on the ground just kind of like out of nowhere before they start throwing more. So I don't know if they changed something there or if I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I used to play with more people who would run into them and clear them for me. Or maybe I was just not paying attention, being bad. Just popping in after seeing the stream. Hey, what's up, Grant? How's it going? thank you for stopping by and hanging out. Hope you're having a good Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Is Word of Glory still feeling undertuned? Yes, it definitely feels like it needs a look from Blizzard. So like I have almost 6 million health and I hit a Word of Glory and it heals for, like, my health bar feels like it doesn't move. It's healing for under 1 million damage if it doesn't crit. So I think that needs a buff. I think it should heal for like at least a quarter of your health, considering that you're giving up casting a Shield of the Righteous in order to hit it. One big unfortunate thing about VDH is that off-spec Havoc makes gear wonky, at least in Dragonflight. Havoc wanting to play Mastery Crit was always awkward. Yeah, Mastery being the best spec for, or the best stat for Havoc and the worst stat for Vengeance feels bad. On the other hand, if I could give you a little bit of a hot take, you can get movement speed from Mastery as a Vengeance Demon Hunter, and I would argue that movement speed is the best stat in the game. So I think, even though you can get more damage and more defense out of other stats on Vengeance, I think Mastery is underrated for Vengeance, assuming you're playing that talent on the class tree that gives you movement speed. And why would you not? Seems like they mistakenly given Prot the spell damage scaling Holy Power Word of Glory. That may be the case. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but it doesn't feel like it does on live. Like, I'm gonna hit it right here. It crits, so it actually moved my health bar. But normally, yeah, it feels very weak compared to what it is on live. Well, movement was never really a weak point for VDH, but you know I'm a fan of going faster. Yeah, that's true. When you have like basically unlimited heroic leaps, like that just feels good. Oh look, these guys know to line of sight over here. I love this group. Oh, got stunned. I am trying to be better about using Eye of Tyr and the hero talent ability in this dungeon. I don't know if I've been doing a good job of that. We'll see. We'll see how many uses I have at the end of the dungeon. Yeah, movement speed is one of the things that it's hard to quantify, but like, if you play more movement speed and then you're able to move out of like more ground effects, I guess, did they made this guy not pat anymore. Okay, that feels really good. Yeah, if you're able to like more effectively move out of ground effects and like more effectively help with soaks, like there's some value there that like looking at logs is never really going to tell you. I'll give you one example. Playing movement speed, even just like movement speed and chance on Tendril, is an absolute game changer for being able to do the tank mechanic correctly. Like, just having 10% movement speed makes it a non-issue getting into the mushrooms that you need to soak. Whereas if you have like all avoidance and chance, you'll take a little bit less damage from those mushrooms and from all the other crap that's going on in that fight. But like, you gotta work to get into those mushrooms. So, I don't know, that's just okay. We just gave this mob a, what, 80%, 90% haste? I'm kiting that. You take a lot less if you don't soak it, then just everyone else takes a lot. That's true. That's true. Just let the healers deal with it. It's a healer mechanic, right? Everything's a healer mechanic. Sorry, Waz, if you're watching. Over here. Okay, I have a general complaint about the ping system. The area that you need around like a mob or around yourself to get a ping off at a location is a little bit too big, and it's kind of frustrating. I love the ping system overall, though. As a raid leader, like, once they added that, it's just so nice being able to say, like, hey guys, move here. Hopefully my team doesn't actually move over there. But you know what I mean. Hashtag healers aren't people. Just kidding, just kidding. I know it's fun to dunk on healers, but honestly, like, I want to give them a huge shout out and a lot of respect. They heal so that we don't have to, and they deserve our respect and our love for that. Oh, made it. Hopefully, okay, it looks like everybody ran through. We had someone, when I did this the other day, someone died to like the puddles on the way to the boss down here, and then they like tried to run through again, but they just aggroed everything without realizing that they aggroed it, and then like 30 seconds into the boss fight, we had that full trash pack run down and attack us. Hashtag justice for healers. That's why we give Waz all of our apples. True, true. I gotta send him some. Yeah, so this is really nice. Now there won't be... Oh, we should probably still deal with the affix. Okay, we just gave the boss haste. I don't know if that's actually going to affect anything, but he will not spawn any more demolishing terrors, so we can just take care of this gripping terror. Just make sure that we're not like killing each other with the debuff here. And then just take care of the cannon. Hopefully someone else will do it. Good. I hate... Oh, I just sent our evoker flying. Oh, jumped into the water. Oh, I don't know what's getting me knocked back here. Hey, we just had our 100 follower goal on Twitch. Thank you. And Franken, thank you for the Twitch sub. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the Prime. Oh, this is a lot of haste on a mob right here. Bubble taunt feels like the correct move. Now that I'm like getting back into, I wouldn't say the habit, but like the groove of playing Prot Paladin, this is definitely feeling better than the first dungeon did. Whoever the 100th follow was, I need to look up your name in my notifications. I apologize, I missed it. But thank you so much for the follow and for the hitting our follower goal of 100. Feels like we've been getting a ton of follows and a ton of subscribers on YouTube lately, and yeah, I just feel very very humbled by all the kind things that people have been saying, and I'm filled with gratitude for y'all. So thank you everyone who's hanging out, following, subscribing. You guys rule. And I hope that I can be a source of entertainment and a helpful source of information as we move into the war within. That came from the YouTube vids. Awesome. I'm glad people are finding those useful. Honestly, like, I'm finding making this video series really helpful for myself as I try to figure out like what I want to play and what I want to do. So I'm glad that others are finding it helpful as well. Less talking, more swap blasting. We will get to that. I don't think you can actually get a swap blaster on the beta right now, and I know you still can't use them in keys, so. Just watch my brew vid. Cool. I hope you found it both entertaining and useful. I definitely had more to say about brew than Warrior DK. Ooh, we got a weapon. Hey, they fixed the item level scaling on weapons in here. Nice. Last week they were dropping at BFA item levels, so I think I got like an item level 37 pair of boots on one of my characters or something. Just letting me do all the work and play something that I'm not. That's fair. That's fair. But hey, someone's got to put in the work. I'm similar to you, where I'm thinking mostly Blood DK and Brew. Yeah, honestly, like Prot Warrior is a very serious consideration for me. But yeah, Blood DK and Brew are both really, really fun and really good. I think those are both excellent choices. Or play something that you are, who knows? I do kind of like the idea of seeing if we can get more warriors than paladins in the raid group just for the memes. I'm a longtime bearer, but I'm dubious about bearer since they aren't getting changes and don't want to be burnt out playing the same tune for another expansion season. Yeah, I am a kind of a serial reroller. I usually pick a different class to play like every season. Like just in Dragonflight, I started as an evoker, then went to Brewmaster. Let me see, these guys are sticking around for more. Then I went to Blood DK, and now Vengeance Demon Hunter for Season 4. So, it's rare for me to play the same class from season to season. I like to mix things up a little bit. I want to like Prot Paladin, but something about his playstyle just hasn't really jived with me ever. Yeah, I played a lot of Prot Paladin and Wrath of the Lich King, which I know that's like ancient history at this point. But I really enjoyed it back then. Every tank was like every class in the game really was so much simpler back then. But just the playstyle back then was all about like blocking damage, and then you had like a very strict rotation that you did, where you used the same like 5 abilities in order, and so it was very easy to play that while doing callouts for my raid group, and also like doing positioning of bosses and all that. So I don't know. It was fun back then, and then I didn't play it very much until like, I don't know, I played it as an alt in Season 3 of Dragonflight, and that was kind of the most I'd put into it for a while. Let me see what dungeon these guys want to do. We actually +2'd that one. We're going to drop it right back down to 4. Ooh, we could try Dawnbreaker if they're up for it. I think the root of it now is consecration and how stilted it makes me feel like. Yeah, it's definitely... So one thing I will say that's really nice is the talent that ties you to your consecration. Oh, where is it? Let's look it up in the spellbook. I think... I'm not finding it. Well, okay, whatever it is, you maintain the benefits of your consecration for 4 seconds after you leave it, which is a huge quality of life buff. You still want to keep stuff in it because, like, it does a lot of damage. But, alright, cool, we're gonna try Dawnbreaker. The Dawnbreaker, +4. Put it on Mythic. Why did it put it on Mythic? Mythic Plus. So yeah, you maintain your benefits of it for 4 seconds after you leave it, which is pretty big. It's also like a implicit That's like an implicit duration increase on consecration as well, I suppose. Yeah. So if you're staying in it the whole time, like, I mean, it's such a short cooldown for Prot though, like 3.7 seconds, and it lasts for 12 seconds. That is one thing that's nice, because like you can drop it, and then like if an AoE effect goes down and you need to move, you can just drop it again pretty quickly. Like compare that to Blood DK where you have like a 20-second cooldown on D&D. That doesn't feel as good. But it also like it part of that is that it just doesn't feel like a great GCD to press. Like you get a lot of defensive value out of it, but you'd rather be building up holy power to use on Shield of the Righteous, and the fact that you're kind of locked out of that for a GCD by hitting Consecrate, it doesn't feel great. Alright, let me real quick Mez Carl W. You were the 100th follower of my stream on Twitch. Thank you very much. I don't know if you're still hanging around. If you are, thank you. I really appreciate you. Yeah, but D&D is such a small potatoes on your mitigation as a blood decay. Yeah, it's definitely not as impactful as Consecration is for Prot Paladin. I like this guy's name. It's just a game. You get an invite for sure. Alright. To the Dawnbreaker. So yeah, this dungeon I have only run one time, and we ended up... I think we killed the first boss, but then the group fell apart because someone DC'd and never came back. So I haven't seen most of this dungeon. Kind of excited. If you lose Consecrate as Prot Paladin, you just die. It's like unequipping a shield as a Prot Warrior. That's a really good comparison. Yeah, it gives you so much value. Like, you just have to have it up the whole time. Do I need to repair? I might need to repair here. Oh, no, we're at like 55. I suppose I could just bust out. Oh no, you can't mount here, so can't bust out the yak. When I was making the brew video, did I play much with Chi Burst? Curious how that felt to play with. I did not, but I have played with that a lot on live, so I know how it feels. It feels okay. You just have to be careful when you're using it. You cannot avoid damage while you're using it. It's only like it's less than a 1 second cast time. So you can do things like use it as you're pulling a group or rounding a group up. You can use it right after leg sweep. You can ring a piece and then use it. Or you can just like use it when you have a big shield on you. But if you use it when you're low on health and don't have any mitigation rolling and you've got like 10 mobs beating on you, not being able to dodge or parry even for 1 second can be pretty rough. The only synergy it has with Mastery of Harmony, right? Yes, and Chi Wave also has that synergy. I mean, it does a lot of damage. Like, I haven't used it, but the tooltip says it hits for like over 400k on all enemies. Obviously, it does reduce damage beyond like 8 targets, I think. But you can't dodge. I thought they added text that says you can avoid. It specifically says you cannot avoid damage while using this. So, that's what it said when I looked at it last night. Am I more of an Alliance or Horde player? I like both factions. These days, most of my characters are Horde. Let me get a pull timer going for these guys here. That's mostly just because, like, the way things ended up in Legion, BFA, and early Shadowlands, like, it was impossible to find a guild to raid with on Alliance in my hours, and I found a guild that I really like playing with and that had the raid times where I was available on Horde. So yeah, most of my characters are Horde right now. I think my Death Knight, I don't think any others, but my Death Knight is a dwarf and is Alliance right now. So all my characters on the Horde or on the beta are Horde right now. Oh, this is not great. Not the best start we've had. Casting Sheep Burst does not prevent avoiding attacks. Okay, so I completely misread that then. Need to go this way. Tyrolion, hi, I just watched your Beermaster video. It was very informative, well done. Thank you. I'm glad you found it helpful. Yeah, maybe we'll have to take a look at that tonight then. Maybe I was wrong about the tooltip there. It could also be that like they made that change but haven't updated the tooltip on beta yet. So I don't know, that's a thing sometimes. Ooh, we're in trouble. Yeah, not gonna survive that. I'll defer to you read from the beta. I guess one nice thing is the release point here is pretty good. Okay, that guy is just gonna... Okay. What was that? He was like channeling on me as soon as I spawned. He's immune to stuns. Is there like a mortal strike here? Like, just a heavy bleed. I feel like all tanks struggle with bleeds to some degree. Except for Brewmaster. Brewmaster doesn't really struggle with any specific kind of incoming damage. That tormenting ray is not messing around. Alright, so here's where we need to do some casual mid-dungeon dragon riding. Oh, 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 oh. Currently on the beta and all these changes in talent trees are amazing. Definitely making it my main. Which class are you talking about? The Brewmaster changes? Oof. Brew, sorry, yeah. Yeah, I really like how Brew looks. Just like taking away just a few of the abilities that it... Oh boy, we're gonna bubble this. Taking away just like a few of those like button bloat abilities, and then just, yeah, it feels so fun to play. It feels really good. Man. Paladin feels so squishy. Very curious on my take on Bear. I want to believe so bad once I get to it. Bear is coming next. I have the video recorded. I just need to edit it, put it all together. I'm hoping I can get that one out tomorrow afternoon. If you want like a TLDR, I think if you like how Bear plays right now, you will probably like it on beta. or in War Within. I think it doesn't feel... I mean, I'm trying to find the right phrasing here. I'm trying to remember what I said in the video. It doesn't feel squishier than other tanks. It also doesn't feel sturdier than other tanks. It feels just fine. The Chosen of a Loon Tree is really, really cool, and I think really fun to play. Come on, Mr. Boss. Please step out. And Druid of the Claw has a lot of potential. So I would definitely keep an eye on that. I think it's got more raiding potential than like key potential, but I think there could be some like cool things that you can do with it in keys too, especially on tyrannical weeks. This boss is really cool. Yeah, there's like a combo you can do that I talk about where basically you spend like... Oh, don't stand in the beams. You spend like 1 GCD basically in cat form. And then you can hop right back into bear form. So you have a chance to get a big rip out. Like... Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a wipe. I'm just going to jump off. I think they made a mistake giving cat reduced defenses when you shift from bear to cat. Basically guarantee they won't get any plane in plus. I mean, it felt okay in keys when I was playing with it. Like, I was able to find spots where like I could shift over and get a big rip off and then get back into bear form safely. One of the key points is that like you keep all of your Iron Fur stacks when you shift from bear into cat, and you keep a frenzied regen. So if you can build up like 3 Iron Fur stacks, pop frenzied regen, hop into cat form, get a rip out, and then hop back into bear form, which you can do in 3 globals very easily. Like, it feels better than you might think. It is like basically the problems that I had with the Druid of the Claw Tree were less about the shifting between bear form and cat form, and more about just like kind of the randomness. Presumably it's going to have value on bosses and in plus since all the cat abilities are single target. Yeah, and I mean, there's often like a priority target that you can use your single target abilities on in a pack too. So, especially with bolstering gone, like we don't need to necessarily worry about that anymore. Oh boy, finish up that beam. Yeah, I want to give that some more play because like I feel like I kind of scratched the surface of it, but there's a lot more potential there, especially on Tyrannical. And I think in Raid, it's going to feel really, really good. Like being able to viably swap into cat form to do more damage. That was super fun in Shadowlands. And in Cataclysm and Wrath of the Lich King and all the times you were able to do that in the past. I think we're supposed to grab these orbs, but I'm not entirely sure. Come on, hop out, Mr. Boss. Ugh, okay. That is an annoyance with this boss. It is really hard to move him, and you need to move him before he does that obsidian beam. I mean, I guess you have time to like run away from it, but like he just does not want to step out so that we can actually attack him. Oh dear. Okay, this is going to be rough. Let's go through the beam the other way. So I know I'm a little behind on chat. I want to make sure that we actually kill this boss so we can go on in the dungeon here. Because I have not seen the rest of the dungeon after this boss, and I really would like to. Okay. It's one of those things where it goes down to 1 health. Alright. Boss down. I do think it's interesting how in Dragonflight the physical build was AoE and plus centric side of the tree, and the arcane focus is better single target, raid, hero talent, so basically the mirror of that. Yeah, that is kind of cool. Although one of the things that I think feels bad is in the Elune tree, you have the option to turn Thrash into an arcane damage ability. But if you do that, you're kind of pigeonholing yourself out of taking any of the talents that directly buff Thrash. So that does feel kind of bad. Didn't proc the Druid of the ability. Doesn't the Druid of the Claw ability proc super seldom? I watched another stream about 3 to 4 weeks ago and he said that was the main complaint. That was my main complaint too. Like, when you use... Oh my goodness, I'm taking so much damage. When you use Incarn, it procs off of like Thrash and Mangle and Swipe at like a 25% proc chance. But normally, outside of Incarn, which is when you would want like more access to something like that, I think, because like the GCDs in Incarn are so tight, so restricted. It only procs off of your auto attacks, so like that feels kind of bad. I think I want to get out of that. In a perfect world, they're basically bolstering the weak point of the two playstyles, so they have parity in both forms of content. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I will say, like, I went into Druid expecting to, like, feel kind of, like, underwhelmed, and I was pleasantly surprised by how it felt. Arcane Thrash doesn't work with the Wind of Terror, Flash of Claws, or Ursa's Fury. That seems right. No, it does work with those, but the problem, and you'll see this when I look at the talent tree in the video, the problem is, like, if you want to go for the full Arcane build, you don't have the talent points to take all of the Thrash stuff on the other side of the tree. So, like, you could go and take all of those, and it would work with them, but you just, like, you don't have enough talent points because the tree feels really bloated and restricted on that side. Oh gosh, I don't even know where I'm supposed to land here. Maybe here? This doesn't feel like where we were. Oh, here, this is where we landed, I think. Oh, nope, this is not where we landed. Okay, but this is where we're fighting. Oh, Lord, this is so much. Oh, no. I couldn't get bubble off fast enough. You basically have enough points to take Wind and Terror, and that's it. And then you go for Arcane. Yeah. It's like... the Arcane side of the tree has so many talents that, like, it feels like you can't take anything but the Arcane talents. And I will showcase that in the video. Ooh, someone pinged over here. That's helpful. Okay. Let me go ahead and just bubble these guys. That being said, the Arcane Bear does feel incredibly fun to play. And like, you get so much cooldown reduction on Lunar Beam that you have it up like on pull for every pack. Some packs, especially if it's like a mini boss, you will get to use it multiple times in the pack. And like, that just feels awesome. Hey Soul, how's the new and plus changes? They feel pretty good. I have a couple of tweaks I would suggest for this affix that you just saw Xalatath pop up and send out. I think the nameplate clutter is like a really big problem with that. But it feels fun to play, and like, I really like the Kiss Curse style of this one. So, well, this is the boss. We don't want to pull the boss yet. Let's see. I think we have to go for like over here. It does seem to happen like infrequently enough that I think most of your group's AoE CCs are going to be back up for it. But having to burn AoE CCs on it does feel a little bit bad. I will say it doesn't feel as bad as watching an incorporeal go off. Maybe bad in a different way. Oh, no, bubble. So yeah, basically like all these orbs spawn, you have to CC them, which includes any, like, you can displace them, you can interrupt them. For every one that you basically stop its cast, okay, there's the boss. There's the boss. And just get away. For everyone that you stop its cast, you get a stack of this buff, which gives you 1% haste and movement speed. And for everyone that goes off, the mobs get a stack of a similar buff, but they get 10% haste and I think like 1 or 2% movement speed per stack. So if you completely ignore it, you will give the mobs 200% haste, which I would not recommend. Doesn't go very well. It seems to happen, I haven't timed this out exactly, but it seems to happen about once a minute. Which unfortunately means, like, my only AoE CC as a paladin is Blinding Light. So unfortunately I can only help with like every other one. I think Song of Chi-Chi is going to be huge for an M+ for Brew. I probably should have gotten out of that. 30-second cooldown AoE stop. 1.2 second cast, but it's huge for leg sweep. Yeah, that's really big. These mini bosses are no joke. It's hard for me to not take Ring of Peace given the opportunity. I love Ring of Peace so much. And Ring of Peace is actually huge on this affix because you can drop it, like, you leg sweep half of them and then Ring of Peace the other half. Like, it's actually pretty huge. Prot Paladin looks squishy. It feels squishy. So again, like I said this earlier in the stream, I'm not the best Prot Paladin for sure. Like, it is the tank spec that I feel like I have the least experience on. But there are times where I feel like I'm doing it right. I have Shield of the Righteous up. I'm in my Consecrate. And like, I just get absolutely trucked. Oh yeah, should have got out of that again. Looks like it may have feared some people. Word of Glory still does feel weak, which, like, a weak Word of Glory is a nightmare, I think. Oh, wait, the slam goes on the tank? That looked like it was moving with me. Interesting. Okay, we should be pulling this out of the building. Yeah, these guys are right. So our mage went offline. Hopefully it was just DC. Yeah, he made it decided enough is enough. This is my first place and my first time in this part of the dungeon, so this is an interesting dungeon. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think once we have more familiarity with, like, how the whole thing goes, it'll be better. It'll feel better. Oh, yeah, our healer is hearth out. Yeah, I don't know if we'll do this one again. Maybe we'll stick to the old familiar ones. I kind of want to try Batol. I don't remember seeing if they changed anything, but I liked that one during the first week. Alright, let's drop the mage. Let's see, was I doing I feel like I was doing a little bit better job using Eye of Tyr in that one. Oh, my damage was low though. I guess that's current fight, not overall. Yeah, let's swap to Batol. I think I need to buy a scroll from this guy to do that. I really like the changes they made to Batol. And then we will keep it at a 4. And I think I'm going to try Lightsmith now. Probably need to make a mouse over macro here. Okay, so this is part of the tree that I was hearing some complaints about. You imbue your weapon, but it just gives you like a 1 hour buff. So it's like old school like shaman weapon imbues. Like, I hope they make that passive or maybe increase the duration on it. I don't know. It's like the flavor of it is kind of cool, but if you forget to do that, it's going to be really annoying. I guess you just make a big weak aura to make it so you cannot forget. Alright, let's do Batol here. Okay, and then I think I want a mouse over macro for Holy Bulwark. Let's put that right here. And we want to do that because when you cast this on another player, one of the hero talents is that you benefit from it as well. So you bestow an armament upon an ally, you also gain its benefits. So it's like, it's basically like the priest PI talent, right? Priests give power infusion to someone and then they benefit from it as well. So it encourages you to kind of share the love and buff someone else. They did, so when this was like first implemented, these were like ground targeted effects, and that was like the biggest like turn off in the world to me. But they've changed it so that you actually like target an ally with it now, which I think makes this a little bit less potentially irritating. Let's just put it that way.
I have many, many wares. Good fortune to our friends.
Let's go ahead and teleport over to ye old Grim Batol. So let's see what these actually do, because it's been a while since I actually read them. Holy Bulwark. While wielding a Holy Bulwark, gain an Absorb Shield for 15% of your max health, and an additional 2% every 2 seconds. Lasts 20 seconds. Okay, so that's a solid defensive ability. Let's get this monk in here. And then we will just need a healer. And then the other one, once you use Holy Bulwark, it turns into Sacred Weapon, so they kind of like swap every time you use them. On Sacred Weapon, while wielding Sacred Weapon, your spells and abilities have a chance to deal 93k additional holy damage or healing to nearby targets. Effect is increased when Sacred Weapon strikes a single target and reduced above 5. Okay. I mean, that sounds pretty cool. Like, this is kind of playing into the old like blessings that Paladins had. Get to buff people. And then you and they do more damage or have a little bit more survivability. So, yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I'm wondering who it's ideal to use Bulwark on. Probably the healer. And the healer and I both have... It's just some additional baseline survivability. And then... Yeah, I'll just use the weapon on any damage player. I wonder, is it like a % chance or is it RPPM? It just says have a chance, so yeah, if it's a % chance, then we give it to the monk because they attack way more often than the other guys. Maybe I'll try evenly distributing it and see how that goes. Let's see. All right, everybody's ready. This was probably my favorite dungeon the first weekend of M+ testing, which I found a little bit surprising. That shield was gone immediately. Oh no. Oh man, okay. Yeah, I really like what they've done with Grim Batol though. I think this is going to be a very enjoyable dungeon in Season 1. It definitely feels more on the like Throne of the Tide side of Cataclysm updates rather than the Vortex Pinnacle side. Oh no. No! Oh no! That didn't happen. You saw nothing. Just watching my video, great stuff. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mezcal. You were my 100th follower on Twitch. Really appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed the brew video. I've been really enjoying making these videos. I feel like it's a really helpful process for me to go through as I'm trying to figure out, like, what I want to play. Oh no. This pool was not supposed to be this big. Alright, bubble. Nope, didn't get bubble off. Yeah, not supposed to pull that much. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the brew video. This process has been like really helpful for me, and I'm glad it's helping lots of other people too. Try to land on a tank to play. And we will pull these guys back so that no stray AoEs pull in uninvited guests. I'm going to go ahead and bubble though. I don't know why I'm bothering pressing Word of Glory. It just feels so weak. But then I don't press it and I just die, so... Oh man, this is rough. So the shield on Holy Bulwark, like... it's just gone in one hit. Am I wearing a shield? That's a fair question. Yep. Oh no, my shield has pulled everything. These guys are saying I'm not the worst Prot Paladin they've seen, so... Oh man. Absolutely exactly the kind of video I've been looking for and already helped massively with making a decision. Think alone being brew with either Prot or Blood Decay as an alt. Yeah, I'm in very much a similar space. Like, alright, this healer's gone. I'm in very much a similar space. Like, brew feels fantastic. Blood Decay feels fantastic. Prot Warrior feels fantastic. Our Hearth is still in CD. Feels bad. Maybe that's a sign that we should switch over to do some Demon Hunter testing. Yeah, we'll just hop out of the dungeon and then I'm gonna swap over and we'll do some Demon Hunter testing, which hopefully is gonna feel better. It's not gonna feel as good as it does on live with only one sigil, but we'll be able to manage, I think. Should probably update my titles here. All right. So this is what I've been running, or at least what I ran the first weekend of testing. Obviously, Illuminated Sigils has been nerfed since then. I still kind of want to run this, at least initially, because having 2 charges of Sigil of Flame feels really good. But I don't know, maybe Fiery Brand is better now. I'm also wondering, like, at one point is it better to just go into Last Resort? Like, Feed the Demon is pretty good. Getting more uptime on Demon Spikes is really good. Anyway, we shall see. I'm going to start down in Mist. That's where I've been starting out with all the tanks. Playing DH on Remix feels weird to me. On not Remix feels weird to you. That, I think that's like the pitfall of Remix, is like going back and playing the same character on like without having like 500% movement speed or whatever you're at now on Remix. Like it definitely doesn't feel quite the same. So fast. Yeah, I've been playing Outlaw Rogue, so you get like Outlaw Rogue, so you get like an extra 30% for free in your talent trees. It's just like, it feels like you're mounted all the time, and then you mount up and go slower. I think I'm just gonna stick with this for now. Just try and get a baseline comparison. This is basically what I'm running on live, so we'll see kind of how it feels just without 2 sigils. Miss +4. Go ahead and teleport over to Mists. There it is.
Have a good one.
I should probably try to get a like intentionally try to get a Tauren or a Night Elf or a Druid in here, just so we can do the shortcuts. But it doesn't tell you what character race people are in the group finder. What's your gear scale to as a relative comparison to live LFR? So that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So this is technically a Mythic 0 dungeon right now because we haven't started the key. So it's at 580. In Mythic Plus, it's scaled to 587, which is roughly equivalent to heroic dungeon gear. So the scaling is pretty low, and I think that is a key part in why Prot Paladin feels pretty squishy. I think it among all the tanks needs more stats to reinforce it than some of the other ones do. But I also think Word of Glory just needs a very serious buff. Oh, we got our DK friend in here. I am going to try Fellscar to start with. I haven't actually set up or tried Eldrachi Reaver yet. But yeah, we're just gonna stick with Fellscar. Right off to work, all the best. Thanks. Hope you have a great time at work. It's not too stressful for you, and you bring home the bacon. At least, you know, whatever colloquialism you use for bringing home your paycheck. Let's see. Let's get a warrior in here. I haven't seen too many warriors. If they accept the invite. Nope, they declined. Okay. And we'll just get a hunter. Hunters have been good. Let's see. So far, we do not have a Tauren or a Night Elf. We'll see how rusty I feel on Demon Hunter now. It's been my main this season on live, but I haven't really done much on it on live in several weeks. Hopefully it feels better than Paladin. Alright, Paladin's ready. We'll go ahead and give the countdown. Paladin. Healer's ready. Go ahead and give the countdown. Oh, they dropped the feast. But I'd already done my countdown. I don't think Blood Elves can open it. Nope. Okay.
It's too far away.
Wow, okay. That was what Demon Spike's up to.
I need to get closer.
Not a great start.
I'm out of range. I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Okay, things have stabilized a bit here.
I need to get closer. It's too far.
I think what happened on the last one is I just didn't get dispelled. And I think the same thing is happening here. Yeah, we're just not getting dispelled, so that is going to feel bad.
It's too far away.
Like 20% increased damage on a fortified key. And the healer's offline. Lovely.
I can't attack that target.
Oh, I don't have Imprison, do I? No, I do. Okay, good, good. He's still over there in the dungeon, so hopefully he's gonna come back. Cool, he's back. Oh nice, this hunter did the gateway skip too. I'm going to re-imprison this guy. And then we're going to go on.
I need to get closer.
Oh my goodness. B-res. And I have no sigils now, so I can't control everything here. Or it's gonna meta.
I'm out of range.
Not getting dispelled on those mobs is like the bane of my existence as a tank in the beta. They hit so hard, man. Like, those trash packs are already rough, and then when you're taking 40% extra damage, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we'll see how Havoc feels in the rest of this dungeon, or how Vengeance feels in the rest of this dungeon. Yeah, getting those guys doing their thing at the same time is probably not great. Should probably make better use of Fiery Brand here. These guys got they got a stack of it. It's only 10% haste.
I need to get closer.
These guys are saying chain heal is healing people at the beginning of the dungeon.
I need to get closer.
Tell them these guys they can run by the imprisoned mob. Let's wait for our warlock to get back. Alright, on to the boss. Now the real fun begins. This guy's away a little bit. We'll have to defeat the big guy again, but that's okay. Sigils feel pretty good for the Sapphics, honestly. Like, We should just be able to kill Ingram Malik now.
I need to target something first.
Alright, try and watch which way Miss Color goes here.
I can't attack that.
She went right. That's a little tip if you guys didn't do this place in BFA. For the maze, the first way that you'll have to go is the way that the boss goes. So you can do the puzzle for the first one, but as long as you like see which way she went, you never have to.
I need a target.
Saves you a little bit of time. And then after that, you do need to do the puzzle. Although there are add-ons, from what I understand, that kind of do it for you.
I'm out of range.
I think in, I guess it was Shadowlands, not BFA. In Shadowlands, I don't know if this has changed, but there was like a certain amount of... There's only a certain amount of possible routes. So after you got like the first 2 or 3, if you had it memorized or if you had a like a week or you could figure out the rest of it without having to do the puzzle. I'm guessing that probably hasn't changed, but okay, these guys got some haste now.
I need to get closer.
They get the full... Okay. Yeah, their movement speed is increased by 40%.
I need to target something first.
Okay, could have gone worse. I feel like my paladin would have died there. Okay, they already unlocked it. Nice.
It's too far away. I'm out of range. I need to get closer. It's too far away. I can't attack that target.
I don't know which one it is. Mistville Matriarch. This is a nice little trick you can do. Use the mob's own healing pool against it.
I need to get closer. It's too far away.
Come on. Come on.
I don't have a target.
Okay. Got filled flower, filled leaf. It's the circle, I think. What's this one? It's got to be. Yeah, it's the empty one.
I'm out of range. It's too far away. I'm out of range.
So I think what I will say about Demon Hunter so far, and I mean we're only like
I need to get closer.
just about halfway through the dungeon. Like you definitely feel the sigil nerf, and I think you feel the loss of secondary stats going from season 4 into season 1. But like, it still feels like it's a good tank. It still feels pretty good.
I'm out of range. I need to get closer. It's too far away. I need to target something first.
We got our haste. But do we have our puzzle solved? Nope, we do not. What's this one? It's the empty one.
I need to get closer.
Yeah, you definitely can't solo lock down a pack forever anymore, but I feel like you can do enough that like it's still, yeah, it's still a strength compared to what other tanks have. You just actually have a meaningful cooldown on it now.
I don't have a target.
I think we're going to the boss room now, yeah? What's the other one? Flower? Yeah. Yeah, we're in the boss room now.
I'm out of range.
Okay. That was a very troll. That's a very trolly bomb limb. Oh no.
I can't do that yet.
It is. Yep, we're dead. It pulled that Vulpin right into us. Oh, the healer is gonna res. That's okay, because I can just watch out for the pat there.
It's too far away.
I can imprison and we can run
I
by.
need to get closer.
Oh, that was funny. That was a really funny moment. Can I imprison them? I don't know if they're beasts or if they're... I might be able to imprison every other one. I did not play much Demon Hunter in Shadowlands, so... not enough to know what I can imprison or not. Yeah, I can imprison it. It is the Filled Leaf. I need to be ready to kick patty cake though. Should be able to imprison the next one.
I need to get closer.
No, I didn't.
It's too far away. I'm out of
Tabbed at exactly the wrong time there. Is the filled one.
I need to get closer. It's too far away.
Oh. What was that rocket that just came in? I need to pay better attention to patty cake here.
I'm out of range.
Oh no, we just gave the boss 30% haste? Oh no, just 10%.
I need a target.
That was fun. I haven't played like that in so long. Let's do it again.
That could have been worse. Could have been so much worse. Are we gonna try and skip? Oh, okay, we can do an imprison skip. Yeah, that's worth it.
I need to get closer.
Feels pretty good going into this pack with 20% haste buff. Wait, do I not have... Oh no, I don't have... Oh god, I can't find it. The spellbook takes up the whole screen. Okay. Yeah, Arcane Torrent is too good for... I can normally have it on alt for... That's too good to not have accessible for stuff like that. This is my only Blood Elf character in the beta. And on live, I know, no, my Paladin on live is a Blood Elf too. I want to see how Shockwave feels with that affix. Because I know, like, being able to leg sweep and Ring of Peace feels really good. I would imagine Shockwave feels really good too. You can line it up and probably take out all of them, depending on what their spawn layout looks like. If you take Intimidating Shout, also, you can take out a bunch of them. Although for some reason that still has a target cap. Boss first. Mana. Go, he says. I kick the consumption. Hopefully someone else gets the next parasite. I should be able to get it now. Oh, that feels good. In terms of haste plus bloodlust. Oh boy. Did Zaltheth just laugh at us because the timer expired? This way. Alright, well, we didn't time it. We had some problems at the start of the dungeon there. But overall, feel pretty good about how that went. Not bad for first key post sigil nerf on this character. Let's see. Yeah, DK was pumping. All right, we're gonna hearth out, and I think, friends, that is gonna do it for the stream tonight. A little bit of a shorter one, but I've got some editing work that I want to do after stream here on the Druid video, and yeah, I kind of tested everything that I wanted to test for tonight on the beta. Thank you everyone who stopped by and chatted and was just here to hang out. I really appreciate all of you guys. It makes it so much more fun to stream when there's people to talk to, and yeah, just people chilling. If you're not chatting, you are still welcome here. Please stop by whenever you feel like you want to. Hopefully I can provide some entertainment, even if it's entertainment because I'm playing Prot Paladin and just falling flat on my face on the floor. And hopefully we can learn stuff together about how the tanks are looking. So appreciate you all, and I'll catch you all next time. Twitch people, we are probably going to raid someone, so stick around if you want to participate in that. Peace.